evening. This is your friend Han here, and it is great to see you this evening. And hopefully, you guys had a great weekend and spent a lot of great time with your friend and family. And get back to the business now, right? So tonight I have something very, very exciting to share with you. Couple reasons. First of all, I have an awesome list building course. This is the how someone built a 70K buyers list outside the internet marketing niche, and making the dudes are making a lot of money. So and this is the real deal, in other words. So you do want to pay attention to this. And the name of the product is called the Easy List Building Machine, as you can see over here, and is created by Mike and Corey, someone you probably don't often hear, but they're the ones that actually doing all the real stuff in the background, and once in a while they will bring out what they're exactly doing, and show you exactly what you want to do. So what ended up to happen is Mike and I started doing this interview, and I was originally just planning to do a 20 minutes long interview, but you know what, I twist his arm, and he's a copywriter, and he's a real marketer, and I twist his arm and share a whole bunch of golden nuggets. I literally guys, I literally took 4 pages of notes here, no kidding. 4 pages of notes from this dude, and the learning about how do you really be successful at building a buyer's list. As we all know, that's the best kind of list, and how do you really use the list to build a relationship and convert into sales eventually, right? So and this is the interview you definitely, I would say, you want to pay attention to, okay? And this is actually a product you definitely want to check out too, if you want to build a awesome list, start making money from it too as well, right? And if you have not started building a list yet, I highly recommend get this as well. This is one of the things you need to start to do as soon as you start internet marketing, because money is in the list. So on that note, please enjoy the interview. Get the pen and paper ready, start taking lots of notes. And please look out for my email tomorrow, and I have my exclusive bonus and review on this, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. This is your friend Han. Until next time, keep smiling, and I'll be talking to you soon. Cheers. Hi, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is your friend Han here, and again, it is great to see you this morning. And today, I'm very, very excited to have Mike with us, and for the very, very first time. And he's going to be here with us to share some, not only on list building tips, which you probably never heard this concept, and he's going to discuss it during the interview, but also going to share with you some awesome email copy tips, because since he's actually a copywriter himself. So you guys are going to learn tons of great stuff during this interview. So pay attention, grab a pen and paper, start taking lots of notes. You guys are going to be very, very excited about this interview. And at the end of this interview, Mike is going to be introduce a brand new product he's going to launching tomorrow. It's about exactly how to get the right way to build a list, and not only that, how to use this list and start making money for you. So you want to pay attention to that as well, because last couple of weeks' product has been WSO of the day a couple of times now. So before we get into the excitement, let's kind of learn how Mike got started with the internet marketing, but most importantly, what exactly did Mikey do to achieve a level of success that he has today. So Mike, could you kind of take out over the mic and kind of share your unique internet marketing story with us today?
Okay, so I mean, I probably started out like most people, but I'll give you the story that sort of changed things for me. I was going to UMass Amherst studying to be a mechanical engineer. Okay. Junior year, all of us, we all failed the test, and I really came to school to make money. Uh-huh. And I chose engineering because it had the highest pay rate. Okay. So we all failed the test, and then the teacher gave us a lecture. He said, if you're in engineering, you got to love engineering. If you came into engineering to make money, you're in the wrong place. So I said, crap, I'm in the wrong place. So like most of us, I started reading books. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then I read Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Workweek, and that sort of like shattered what I thought was possible as far as like making money. And I was like, oh, I want that lifestyle, I want that freedom, I want that now, instead of working 100 million years and than having the pot of gold at the end and retiring. So
Right.
started to do what all of us do, go online, go to the forums, find different products, started buying different products, went in your usual way through the ClickBank products, bought Commission Blueprint. I was an I was actually an action taker. So I bought that, immediately set up a pre-sale page, squeeze page, started promoting a solar energy product, made a few sales, but went in the red because I was spending a lot of money on advertising. Then realized that, well, I'm broke now. My parents are telling me to get a job. Let's do SEO. So because SEO is free. So I started doing the SEO stuff, and actually, like, I kind of go at things hardcore. I'm obsessed. So I started to even go to the Arlington SEO meetup in Boston. Was reading all these books on SEO, optimizing sites, and after around 6 months, realized that I would have made more money working at McDonald's than I would have doing SEO. So actually went back, got an engineering job for 6 months, got laid off, and then that was sort of the turning point. I had moved out, was borrowing money from my parents, living on my own, collecting unemployment. So things weren't that good. And actually flew down to a seminar in Orlando where I met Dan Gallipo, who was a copywriter who mentored under Gary Halbert. So
Oh, wow.
for people who watch this, he was one of the 4 people besides John Carlton and Scott Haynes to mentor under Gary Halbert. He was running a seminar, and he was actually someone who made his money outside of the internet marketing space. He had ran a supplement company that was doing $200,000 a month. So what was cool about his seminar was it brought a lot of people who were the real deal. They weren't people like in the WSO space selling, here's how to sell a WSO to make money by selling a WSO, or here's how to make money teaching other people how to make money.
Right.
So I did a good job networking there, became friends with him, friends with a couple people at the event, and they sort of showed me, hey, it's really the copywriting and persuasion part and making good offers that really is the key, because if you can convert things enough, then you could just buy the traffic. So that was like a big switch. I met Francis at that event, started working for him, his company, and then went off as a freelance copywriter. For the next 2 years, I worked my way up the ranks as a freelance copywriter. Got a chance to work for a lot of the top ClickBank marketers like Travis Sago and Corey, who's my partner on this. And recently, past 4 or 5 months, been releasing WSOs, kind of teaching what I've learned throughout this entire journey. And things are gravy now.
Yeah. And what was that? I mean, you seems like a very determined guy, and I think if I ask this question, going to help a lot of my friends and the audience who are watching this is, what was that one thing kept you going? I mean, obviously, average people are seeing a first sign of failure. Maybe after you bought Commission Blueprint, didn't work out, you went negative, they would just kind of give it up, say, hey, screw this, internet marketing doesn't work. But you kept going at this. You tried SEO, it didn't work, but you kept going. You go to seminars, trying to meet people, eventually get to the success you have today. But what was that one thing or two things that kept you going, have that drive in you to eventually become successful?
I would think it's partially naivety. I mean, I read Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Work Week. He said he was making $80,000 a month, and with comps that's made sense. I go, hey, I could make $40,000 a month. I'm the kind of person who will listen to motivational stuff and get all jazzed up and then actually do it. I guess it takes a lot of people will read the motivational stuff, they'll get motivated, and then they'll go right back to playing Xbox. I mean, I'm a little different in that way, but what kept me going is that it just made logical sense. You saw people advertising over and over again online. You know they're spending money for advertising. And if you see an ad coming up over and over again, you know it's working. You know they're not dumping money, especially if it's a direct response ad.
Yeah.
You know, they're testing and tracking everything. So I was looking at it, and I knew it was working. And I knew that people were really making the kind of money that they were saying they were making online, because you could just look at the numbers and look at the math and look at how much traffic there was on a certain keyword and all that. So I knew it was possible.
And also, I think like at a latter part of your story that you mentioned, you start working with the people actually the real player in the marketplace, and you as a copywriter you probably get the view that we don't see, like behind the scenes stuff.
That was what was amazing about it.
Yeah,
Was that when you got inside those businesses, and I was doing split tests inside of Travis's business, which is a multi-million-dollar business, and you see basically how simple it is.
uh-huh.
And you look at it, you expect it to be so complex and blown away at people making, like there's one email that I wrote for Travis, it did $30,000 in one day.
Uh-huh.
And if you were to tell my parents, like, oh, he makes $30,000 in one day, they'd be like,
that's what people making a year average.
Yeah, that's what people make in a year. I'm like, no, Mom, I wrote an email for him, and he just has a list that's that big that, 30% click through and then 1% buy, but he's got so many people that, and it's a $40 product that it came out to be $30,000 a day. Like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
So that fueled me even more when I was doing that. And I saw copywriting always as a means to an end, like as a tool, skill set to go and build my own business.
I think anybody owns any kind of business, you really have to master in copywriting, or basic level marketing, and or else you won't have a business.
Yeah, I mean that's the two key things. It's sales, and it's really persuasion, marketing, sales. Those are the key skills. If you look at,
it's foundation blocks. So,
if you look at the most successful people online, they're all masters of that. Like, let's take for instance not the WSO crowd. Let's take the guru crowd, right? Mm-hmm. What's their commonality? Andy Jenkins. That guy is a copywriting, persuasion, sales, marketing master. Mm-hmm. Jeff Walker, same thing. Product Launch Formula is basically Robert Cialdini's influence book put into that. Frank Kern, persuasion master. All these guys, they have this skill of persuasion sales. So for your viewers, that's what they need to be focusing on, not how do we gain Google? How do we get this fancy technical site looking good? How do we do that? It really comes down to sales, persuasion, and marketing, and that's it.
I think once you get the test results in, make sure that your page converts, then you can add those fancy toys in to make sense.
Yeah, exactly.
And so let's talk about, I know a lot of people just kind of, especially in this community here, it just started with internet marketing, and I admitted that when I first started, I wasn't even thinking about building a list, which is, when I look at it back, that should be the first day, when I started internet marketing, that should be the first thing I was doing. So let's talk about why it's important to have a list or start building a list if anybody doesn't have one yet.
Okay, first off, in a business, you're looking to build assets. So a list is equity. When you have a relationship with a list, that's equity. That's money on demand. Like right now, we're probably in the same situation. We could both come out with a product, and we have people who know, like, and trust us, and you're going to make that many sales. So when people want to quit their job, they want that security. The biggest security you can have is that relationship with a list, not Google. I know people who've had sites ranked in Google. Google makes an algorithm change, and that's it. They're done.
Oh yeah, it happens. I mean, it happens all the time. Trust me.
So when you have that relationship with the list, when people know you, you're good. So that's the biggest reason. And then also, when you have a list, you control traffic. So one of my buddies who works for Agora, which is one of the biggest publishing companies, he says that he who controls the clicks controls the cash, which is very true.
Okay. Sorry, I was playing with my camera.
Yeah, you're going in and out.
I'm being like ghost. Let's talk about, now we know, you need to build a list because, in a sense that money is in the list. And if you have that, you know how to build that relationship with your list. So what is talk about, there are a million different ways to build a list. I mean, there's Facebook ads, Google organic traffic. What is the basic right concept when it comes to build a list? What is the fundamental of building a list? What is the right to build a list, in other words?
So really the right way is, again, we talked about this earlier, but anytime you add extra steps, any unnecessary steps, you're making things more complex. And complexity comes from a lack of understanding on the part of an expert. So the biggest thing that I realized when because I bought list building courses. I bought WSOs. I bought the ClickBank list. In fact, we've all heard, if you've gone through 4 or 5 internet marketing products, what's the thing you've heard a million times? The money's in the list. The money's in the list. That's all you hear. So of course, like most people, they go out and they buy list building courses. The problem with the list building courses is everything is treated. Well, first off, they're complex. They give you 100 different methods to build a list. And what I really found was when I worked with people like Corey Ross. So Corey should tell a little bit about how I met Corey. So as a freelance copywriter, Corey hired me. He is, I'm not going to give his market, but it's outside of the IM market. It's on ClickBank. He has 70,000 buyers list, makes a lot more money than all this little community that we're in the WSO community.
Right. And he's not like a, super special guy, right? I mean, he's just like a guy that love, just take massive action, and that's
just massive action. And when I met him, what was funny is like our first couple of conversations, I knew something was off because he would be like, "Oh, you need a lock-in page." Like he wouldn't even call it a squeeze-in page. He called it a lock-in page to lock in traffic and to capture the email address. And I'm like, what is this guy talking about? Right? And then I got to know him. We met one day at the Whole Foods. He went to Babson, and I live in Boston, so we met at the Whole Foods just to meet. And during that day, he made $8,000. I saw his ClickBank account go up $8,000.
Wow.
And what I found out basically was he had bought 0 internet marketing products.
Oh, wow.
Zero up in that time. He just had been in forums and read basic business books, but it was just blew my mind because I always thought you needed to go out and learn the tactics and do this. And I'm like, here this kid is who's just whooping my butt financially, whooping everyone's butt a lot of people that I've worked with. Uh-huh. And then when I was in his business writing copy for him, like, holy crap, this is so simple. Like, this is no rocket science. He had a formula that worked. He just kept taking action. And that's the thing. It's like we talked about this before we started. It's really the things that work. It's pretty simple. You run into trouble when you think like, oh, this is too simple. Let me go find a way to drive traffic from a Facebook page to a Facebook fan page and then get them on my list. Or let's do like 100 other steps instead of just doing what works. Mm-hmm. So the formula that we teach is really, you got 3 things. You got your bribe, that affects conversion. You got your traffic source, that affects quality. And you got your monetization method, and that affects how much you could spend. So those are really like the 3 pillars of list building. And there's a million variables in there, but what we teach what optimizes each of them. And I think I'll start first by talking about the method of monetization, because that is where a lot of people have this wrong. And I know you're going to ask the question of what are the biggest mistakes that people make with list building. Mm-hmm. So when you look at this, you look at the bribe, you look at the traffic source, and you look at the method of monetization. So one of the biggest things is people start with the traffic source, right?
Right.
They start with that first, when in reality, that's the last thing that you want to be thinking about, because the first thing you want to think about is how are we going to monetize the list? How are we going to pay for our work? And a key concept, like if you get nothing else out of this entire interview, this is going to be worth like thousands and thousands of dollars, because this will save you so much time. Mm-hmm. And that is, no matter what, you're going to pay for your traffic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's no such thing as free traffic, right?
I agree. Yeah.
You're either going to buy it with your money, or you're going to buy it with your time.
Right.
And when you buy it with your time is worth something. And like Jim Rohn said, the great success philosopher said, you can always get more money, you can't get more time. So a big mistake that a lot of us make is that we think, oh, Google traffic's free, or doing all these guerrilla methods, which are fine. I mean, if you're down and out and that's all you have, that's fine. But eventually you want to get out of those guerrilla methods because you can spend your time doing stuff that's more valuable. So as far as that goes, you're going to pay for your traffic. So you want things set up to offset that cost of traffic. And there's a concept that comes from investing, and it's called the margin of safety.
Okay.
So in internet marketing, a lot of people go into this with very little margin of safety, and I'll explain what that means. So the margin of safety is a concept that comes from Warren Buffett, and he's an investor. When he looks to buy a stock, he looks to buy a stock that's below intrinsic value, so that even if it doesn't perform very well throughout the course of the life of the stock, he'll still make money because there's a room for error in the stock. So that translated into internet marketing. Most people, their margin of safety is like, let's put a person on a list and let's have one offer or a couple things in the autoresponder, which are like $10, $15, right? So the most you can, it's like, you're going to spend money for the traffic, so your offsetting is like $30. What we want to do is, the better marketers, they really offset all that cost by putting in a funnel. Higher offers. Once they opt in, have a $17 product, but then if they buy a $17 product, have an upsell at $97, have an upsell at $197. One person takes that upsell at $197, you have $197 now to upsell all that cost, all that time you put into list building. So the game is really, most people think, and this is what you learn when you start working with the bigger guys, and this is like, a super high level concept, is the big guys are trying to say, how can I spend more than people? While the little guys are saying, how can I get this free? How can I spend less? How can I do all this? And the game that the big guys play is, how can I set up my funnel so big, have my conversions so good that I could spend $200 for a lead and still make money or still break even?
That's a brand new concept. I think you just kind of brought out. I don't think many people even talk about that. So yeah, no wonder we are not successful, right?
Well, that's like one of the first things I do when I take on private clients.
Yeah,
which anywhere from what?
That was the biggest aha moment.
So that's they try to spend more. So that's one of, like, when I take on private clients at 5,000, or I have lower, less expensive things, but that's one of the first concepts that I teach them. Is it's a game of psychology and math, and the math is, how can we spend the most? Okay.
Yeah, because you get, in other words, to think about is the larger the margin of safety, the more buying power of traffic you have, right?
Exactly.
The faster your list's going to build as well, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So you mentioned already mentioned one of the I guess a mistake people makes when you're building a listings is because most people are working kind of backwards. What you're talking about here, people are just they know they want to build a list. They just build a list for the sake of building a list. They don't even think about how to monetize from the beginning. Which what you're saying here, you need to look at the offer first, then think about how to get that list, and definitely build up that safety net, margin of the safety there, so you know exactly how much you can afford to spend at a time, right?
Exactly. That's one of the biggest things, is knowing how much am I willing to spend to get a lead.
Okay.
And that's going to be determined by how big your funnel is. Like if I'm consulting someone and they have an offer for $1,000, you could spend a decent amount to get a lead, because you need to convert a couple of them or one of them at $1,000 to break even for the advertising cost.
Right. That totally makes sense, and yeah, that's. I think a lot of people are having aha moment right now because they're listening to this. So, and so let's talk about the second mistakes that you see people making. I think specifically tied to people think have to be complex and to be successful at this list building thing here.
Okay, so like again, I already talked about the complexity, but what we want to do is we want to build a high quality list. So again, we have like 100 different ways we could build a list. Like, I mean, if you were to test like probably any of people listening to this, they could probably rally off the top of their head 20 different ways to build a list.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, each of those ways to build a list is not going to be as generate the same sort of quality of a list.
A lot of people don't think about that. It's like, oh, I got people on my list. Just think just the money to come in. No, it's not like that. It has a lot of things going into it. But I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but go.
No worries.
Sorry.
No, one of the like so yeah. So it's like where the traffic comes from is going to correlate to the quality of the thing. So if you notice, a lot of the better marketers, the marketers that are making millions of dollars, they focus on building a buyer's list. Right. So it comes down to the bribe, the traffic source, and the method of monetization. So when I worked for Travis Sago, who is one of the top ClickBank marketers, he has the magic of making up. Girl Gets Ring. So these are both products outside of the internet marketing niche, which I think is important because one of the big differences about myself as opposed to other WSO sellers is that I've done everything outside of the IM niche, and as opposed to 5 months ago, where that's why you'll see some of these concepts come in. But one of the things that Travis told me on the call was, which is really it's a mindset shift. He goes, I look at the magic of making up as a $37 squeeze page.
Because
right?
you test. That's how you filter whether it's a buyer or freebie seeker.
Yep. So Travis is really an affiliate marketer.
Yeah.
But his squeeze page is the magic of making up sales letter, which again is conversion. So that's like the quality that he gets every time he gets a buyer. A buyer is a buyer is a buyer is a buyer.
Yeah, and the pricing too. Like you determine what type of a buyer. Like there's a $7 buyer versus there's $37 buyer versus there's $1,000 buyer, and it's different quality.
Yep. So if you look at a lot of the best people, they focus on building buyers lists, and that's done by creating low ticket offers at $7.37. I mean, you look at a lot of the WSO sellers, they make quite a bit of money with their list, and it was built just from WSOs getting a list of people, $7 buyers and all that stuff. So that would be like one method, and that would be way more important than, say, going to Facebook and giving away a free gift, and then once you have that list, doing ad swaps and all that. Like, you give me the list of the $37 buyers, even 100 of them, and I'll make way more money than you with 500 or 1,000 or even 2,000, 3,000 of the ad swap junk traffic that you wasted all that time on. And
I totally, I totally agree. Yeah, definitely want to build a buyer's list. What I learned, before I came to internet marketing, I was a real estate and still is that, I can be the best salesperson selling a house, but the guy is not ready to buy or financially not able to buy. I'm wasting my time. And this is exactly the same concept here. Like, freebie seeker, they only want free stuff. And if you spend that time and effort into helping them out, they're never going to buy a single product. You're going to be starving to death.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to talk to the right people. Like, if you deliver value and content and help them out, they're willing to part the money. So that's why it's important to have a buyer's list instead of freebie seeker list. And so since you're a copywriter, could you give out some email copy tips as well so that people can use kind of like immediately?
Okay. So I'll just give you the biggest game-changing, this is a game changer. If you're not doing this, then you're in trouble. So, and this is actually, this comes from, hopefully Matt Fury doesn't get upset with me. This comes from his course that you spend, multiple thousands of dollars for. But I'm going to share it on this. So he says, I forget who said it, but he said if everyone tried to write like they talk, they'd stutter. If everyone tried to talk like they write, they'd stutter. So the biggest thing is write talk right. So when you're writing emails, you want them to be conversational. You want them to have improper grammar. You want it to be as if you're talking. If you can talk, you can write emails. Like a lot of people worry about, can I write emails and all that? You really, if you're just talking right now, transcribe that. That's a better email than you trying to write and stop and do all that. So when you're doing the email writing, you should be writing fast, because if it's right talk, talk right, you're flying when you're writing your emails. Again, I'll credit that to Matt Fieri.
And that's like a big aha moment. Like it's a lot of most email marketers out there, because everybody spend a lot of time just thinking the opposite way. You had to make your email look so fancy and professional with a whole bunch of image on there, and grammatically correct, obviously. But here again, a big marketer are doing exactly the opposite. He's writing like you're having a conversation. So you give me a whole bunch of good stuff here, man.
You're welcome. I want to make it good for all the viewers. So.
So, do you have any more you can give it out, or you think we have a time for, or?
Oh, twist my arm. I'll go.
One more minute.
Right,
that's it. I promise.
So yeah, that's probably the biggest thing. If I could teach one thing, it'd be right talk, talk right. Okay. That's going to make you overnight a much better email copywriter, like immediately. The next thing is sort of an advanced concept that I can give. How can I explain this? All right. Well, I'll give a couple of the tactics too. So, what I've noticed is when you have let me get the background. There's two forces to make a sale. There's what I call the sales force, which is like increasing desire, and then there's the anti-sales force, which is decreasing desire, and that is so there you'll see this in different spots. Like one book will be like, here's like the benefits and all that stuff, and the other books will be like, how to handle objections and all that stuff. And that's really the two forces. So most of internet marketing and most of the WSO sellers, even the ClickBank guys, it's all like they're not as good of marketers as the really high guys. So a lot of stuff they're focusing on is the sales force, which is increase desire, add more bonuses, use social proof, use reciprocity. What's another one? Use curiosity, get them, real curious, increase the desire, all that sort of stuff. That's all well and good. That works really well. Adding proof, making a better logical argument. So that you definitely want to do that. But what I've noticed and when working in the upper levels is that the best marketers, they focus on the anti-sales force, which is reducing the resistance of people being persuaded.
Now, I want to kind of jump in here a little bit, ask you this. Do you think, I guess you can tell me this or not, do you think it's better to bring out the objections and confront it at the beginning, or do you think there's other better way to do this?
No. The best way, if you have an elephant in the room, you address it right off the bat. So that's a beginning copywriting mistake that a lot of amateur copywriters make is they won't address the elephant in the room.
Yeah, most people are like scared to share it. I was like, that's something you need to just get out of the way.
Yeah. So they'll write a sales letter and they won't address the big elephant in the room, and then all of a sudden the sales letter's over and their reader's still going, well, why the hell is this guy selling this? Like, take Forex, right? So a big objection is if this guy's making so much money selling, doing foreign exchange, which is stock market. So like, if he's making so much money in the stock market, why is he selling a course on the stock market stuff, right?
Yeah.
It'd be a big elephant in the room.
Yeah.
So a lot of beginner copywriters, they won't even mention that. Sales letter ends, the guy goes, well, this sounds great, too good to be true, but if he's really making millions of dollars in the stock market, why the heck is he spending his time making a course?
I would have kept it to myself.
So as a copywriter, like, that's an elephant in the room, and that's an objection you need to handle right away. It's like, or somewhere you have to have a block of copy that says, well, the reason I'm doing this is because I'm doing this part-time and I just want to give back, and actually the Forex market or the stock market's so big that I could share this system with 1,000 people and it doesn't affect my results. And one of the things I realize is that when I teach my stock market trading, it keeps me fresh. It keeps me all the stuff that I need to do personally. So when I'm teaching it, I'm actually learning it better. So it makes me a better trader when I'm giving you selling this course. So that's my selfish reason for that. And also because I struggled too when I was started out as a stock investor, stockbroker, blah, blah person. So like I'm giving this to you because I don't want you to struggle how I did. Yeah. So again, we just addressed that elephant in the room, and now that's out of the reader's head.
Yeah. I totally agree. I just want to kind of pick your brain here a little bit, give a different perspective, and I totally agree with you. So you were talking about the anti-Salesforce, and one of the things to overcome objections at the front. So is there any other sales factors that's involved in there as well?
Absolutely. So we're playing a game of catch while our prospects are playing a game of dodgeball. Mm-hmm. They get so many advertising messages at them. Like when we craft an email, we think that's like the most important thing in the world because we wrote it. In fact, our prospects are seeing our emails and delete. So our biggest obstacle is not other, like everyone thinks their biggest obstacle is other marketers, which is just, it's not true. Our biggest obstacle is Anderson Cooper on CNN. Our biggest obstacle is all the other noise in our prospect's life. Our biggest obstacle is all that stuff. So to really break through the clutter, one of the key concepts in Blair Warren's book, it's called The Forbidden Keys to Persuasion, which is like a top resource for a lot of copywriters. So if you've now, for people on that book and Influence will totally rock your world and are must reads. But he says in Blair Warren's Forbidden Keys to Persuasion, he says that people resist unwelcome attempts to be persuaded. So
say that again slowly.
People resist unwelcome attempts to be persuaded. So we don't like being persuaded. We like to buy, but we don't like to be sold. So, and as a way to shortcut all this clutter, when we see stuff that we recognize as advertising, we're playing dodgeball. We're moving out of the way of it.
Right.
So what you realize is that the really, really good marketers, they have ways to get around that. So one of the ways would be to tell stories, right? Mm-hmm. Which is storytelling. So people, their guard goes down when it's, hey, let me tell you a story. That's what I call stealth selling. So I have a catalog of all these stealth selling tricks that I use when I work with private clients, when I do copywriting for clients, when I write daily. I have a client right now that I write daily emails for every day. So I'm constantly taking from my bag of stealth selling tricks. So, stealth selling, one of them would be telling a story. Another one would be educating to sell, sort of like what you'd see in the great video sales letter, where, in this video sales letter, like in the fitness market, it's like, in this video sales letter, you're going to learn the 3 tips to lose belly fat instantly, right? Mm-hmm. And in the actual video sales letter, they're giving good tips. Mm-hmm. So now you're positioning your video sales letter as content and not as a sales pitch.
Yeah. And I think I'm not, as good a copywriter as you are, but this thing's it's not new. It's like a lot of people are going to the new and fancy techniques, but telling a story has been used since centuries, like direct marketing, a lot way before we were probably even born, and it's been using for many years, and it works, and just people are, I think, since birth are programmed to listen to stories instead of a pure just blending marketing message. I think that's why it works.
Exactly. And then another technique would be to change the frame. So one way you could actually do a lot of selling is with the interview format that we're doing right here. Like if we, which we didn't do, if we decided like, let's make this a sales pitch for some big course, right?
Right.
We could actually make it an interview, but the entire time have the interview be to sell a $2,000 course. Mm-hmm. Now that would actually work better than if we send out a long sales letter to sell maybe. But it would get consumed. That's the thing. You got a better chance of making the sale when stuff gets consumed. So that's what I call a frame change. So anytime you change the frame, like when those sales letters that have the drawings on it, like when those first came out, those worked amazing. And then they stopped working so well. When video sales letters first came out, they worked amazing. They stopped working so well. Well, everyone thinks it's like, oh, it's a great new technique. No, the reason why it's working is because you're taking that stealth selling principle of changing the frame, and the prospects are looking at it, and they're not recognizing it as advertising yet. So when webinars came out, they worked amazing, right? And then they stopped working really well.
Yeah.
So it's not to buy the product that says the webinars are the greatest thing ever, or video sales letters are the greatest thing ever, or whiteboard animation is the greatest thing ever. They're not the greatest thing ever. The greatest thing ever is the fact that they took advantage of the fact that for that brief period in time, the marketplace did not recognize that as advertising. And that's always going to change. So if you watch the great marketers, they're always one step ahead. Like Frank Kern would do those videos where it was like him playing the guitar in the beginning, and that worked incredibly well. And then like everyone takes the guitar. And
Evan Pagan started to kind of catch him. Then
and then you have like 10 videos, and then like people, like by the 10th one, like the marketplace goes, oh, this is a guy playing a guitar. Like, oh, it's a sales pitch. You know, they recognize it. Like people are not dumb.
Yeah, people are not dumb. Exactly.
So the general concept that I want to give, and you don't need to be a rocket scientist to come up with this. It's just you got to think. We're playing catch. They're playing dodgeball. How can I get this message across and not make it look like advertising? How can I make it look valuable?
Right. And
But you do a really good job on your show up. That's why the interview format works.
yeah, and I'm trying to, I just focus on deliver value first. I mean,
and that's really the key.
You got, in whatever way that every person has this unique background. Maybe something that people don't know, and maybe I'm extremely good with the video editing, so that's my value, and I'm extremely good. Get people like you to get on talk to kind of twist your arm a little bit, kind of share some good stuff out there, and so that's my value to the marketplace. So and so everybody else has their own unique value. Just think about delivering value and the stuff will kind of just come back to you. It always happened to me. Online and offline world.
But for your viewers, if you're looking at you, that's why you've been successful, is because you've had value. Like I say, make your advertising valuable. You created a valuable show. Mm-hmm. You're able to break through that clutter. You're not just another affiliate marketer saying, buy my stuff. Here's an email that looks like buy my stuff. Here, you're delivering value. Right. Which is really the key. If you look at all the good marketers, that's what they do. And the beginners, for some reason, they come in and email marketing, and it's like, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff.
That's what
they're playing dodgeball.
I guess another term for it, you're just burning your list pretty fast.
yeah, exactly.
You pretty quickly lose that credibility. If day one you're marketing a Facebook product, day two you say the second one is the next big thing. Over time you can lose that credibility. So which one is really the best Facebook marketing?
Yeah, exactly.
So people don't think stuff like that. So I love to get more stuff out of you, but we're kind of running out of time right now. So let's get you to talk about this exciting launch you have tomorrow. I'm personally very, very stoked about this. I think this is one of the valuable product that anybody, want to build a list, want to get their hands on. So let's first start with the name of the product and time of the launch.
Okay, so the name of the product is the Easy List Building Machine 2.0. It's with myself and Corey, so all the techniques that Corey's used to build a 70,000 person buyer list, all the techniques that he uses day in and day out. One thing about Corey is he can't teach for the life of him, so you actually got me breaking down the concept. He's actually on a couple of the videos with me, but you'll see how charismatic he is now. Corey, if he's watching this, I'm kidding.
It's all good. It's all good.
No, he knows that I make fun of him because he'll try to explain something to me. I'm like, Corey, come on, man, come on. So got me and Corey just sort of going over that stuff. A lot of the stuff that I've learned from various marketers. And also, I keep saying learn, but I've actually, in my clients' businesses, I've applied this stuff. So I had a fitness client that I've applied this list building system in. We built a list of like 2,000 people within a month just based off his existing traffic sources using some of the strategies that I teach inside of there. So this stuff is theory. No, it's not theory. It's not theory, yeah. This stuff is just completely theory, which actually that's one of my big problems with a lot of these WSO things. I buy everything just to model the process.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to name his name, but his thing to do is he says, buy 3 WSO products and use the recycle method and then come out with your own based off of the 3 you've learned. And you wonder why people are struggling in the WSO market is you got people coming out there and they're completely new. They buy 3 products and they recycle it. So this is like the anti-recycle product.
Yeah.
This comes from, real world experience. This is not theory. This is what works. We're giving you the goods in this.
And guys, just want to remind you of things successful people do in life. Like we talk about a little bit before the show, is that smart people make things complex simple, and it is the I guess I don't know how to put it in a term here. Not so smart people make simple things complex. So you are very smart people who listen to this right now. Just don't look at when you get the course. You don't be surprised how simple it is, because it is that simple. You don't have to make things complex to make that much money. So you want to say something about that too as well, Mike?
Yeah, well, the value comes. See, the biggest thing, I've been breaking down. So I'm a complete nerd about accelerated learning and all that stuff. It really interests me, like how I'm a persuasion junkie. I'm really interested in how the brain works and how people learn. So one of the biggest things in learning is knowing what not to learn, and the way. And also the importance of data. So in the internet marketing, the reason why we're in a mess here is not because people don't take action. I think people do take action. I think people take the wrong action. That's because of, which I did. I mean, there's a lot of people out here. I talk to people, so I do strategy sessions where I get people on the phone, I give them a strategy, a game plan moving forward. And I always ask them, so I'm really in tune with the market, because I'm not an internet marketer who hides behind my computer. I'm on the phone. I talk to my customers and all that. If you buy this product, we can talk on the phone. So that's another benefit of grabbing the Easy List Building Machine 2.0. So, but one of the things is there's data is all treated equally. So the biggest, whenever you're going into a subject, there's going to be things that are more important than other things. So the analogy I like to give is take safely driving a car, right? You could have 2 points of data. Both are important, valuable. One is how far away you are from the steering wheel correlates to how safely you can drive a car, right? That's important, how far away you are. The other point is when you press the brake, the car stops.
That's pretty important.
Now, out of those 2 points, both matter when you drive a car. Well, knowing when you press the brake, the car stops is way more important than knowing how far away you are from the steering wheel. And that's sort of how this internet marketing stuff is. Like, everyone treats everything as equal importance. Like, oh, the greatest Google thing. Oh, this is the greatest plugin that's going to make you rich. This is, how to set up a Facebook fan page this way. Like, those would be how far away you are from the steering wheel. The Easy List Building Machine is when you press the foot on the brake, the car stops. This is like the important stuff that you need to learn, the fundamentals of building a list and making money. So that's the best way that I could describe this program. And that pressing the brake, is that complicated?
No.
But is knowing and maybe going in the manual and reading like, oh, this is how far your seat's supposed to be adjusted, and like, like all the different ways that
you run down the window.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think another type of person we probably don't have talked about is they have both feet on the gas and the brake. Right?
Yeah, that'd be another one. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about like what exactly are they getting in the front end offer, and what is the price point, and how long that's going to keep this special offer opening?
So this special offer is going to be open for 7 days.
Okay.
We're doing a dime sale from $7 to $17.
Okay.
You get everything. This is not one of those, like if you've seen any of my WSOs before, like we over deliver. Like that's one of and that's a concept I believe in, is completely over delivering. So it's everything you need. We got videos on how to set up a squeeze page, videos, Aweber, all the technical stuff that beginners and advanced people get stuck up on. We got all that covered. We give all of the how-tos. We give what are the best traffic sources to use, how to create a bribe, how to research a market. You don't have a market. We show you here's how to pick a market. We show you how to get your bribe created, what to put in your bribe, how to build a squeeze page. I have a 4-step system for creating a squeeze page. It's fairly advanced, but it's actually simple. You know, like it's the simplest way to create a squeeze page. You've got to out-convert mostly all the other stuff you've learned, and it's that simple by focusing on the 4 things that I'm going to teach, which I can go over now, but whatever.
Let's let them pick up the course from that one out.
Okay. Okay.
I think you weighed out too much out already.
So I like to over deliver. So we got, you know, how to create a squeeze page, and again, like the squeeze page video alone, that's like a more valuable than most $9 and $7 WSOs. Like just that squeeze page video alone, like you're gonna be able to create much better squeeze pages. And then of course we have that's everything. Then of course I have an advanced module on email marketing.
Okay.
So we have 2 add-ons. I like to call them add-ons, not upsells, because you should have the first product be everything they need to succeed.
Right.
I hate products that are like, oh, here's the main product, and now, well, you need actually this $97 upsell to make it work, right? That pisses me off. Like, you shouldn't do it. I don't do it.
People off.
Yeah. So we got 2 upsells, which are legit. These are legit add-ons. The first upsell is the outsourcing course that Corey did. It's at $27, and that is all about how to go and outsource a lot of this process of building your list, like, which is really valuable. Corey, again, this is actually Corey teaching the whole thing, so this is all him. He's not the greatest teacher in the world, but the information that he's given is killer. And again, like he's gone through no outsourcing courses. This is like him going out there, getting his butt kicked, making mistakes in outsourcing and doing that and teaching you like, here's what you need to do to outsource. I think it's amazing. People who've gone through before think it's amazing. It's not for sale anywhere, but you'll be able to get it as an upgrade on that. So that's upgrade 1.
What's the starting up price for that?
That's just $27.
Okay. Now, is that on dime sale as well, or just going to be?
No, it is going to be regular.
Okay.
And then the second upsell is one of my courses that's no longer on the market. It's the Easy Email Cash Machine, and that's all this is like a master's degree in email marketing, really A to Z. A lot of the advanced stuff that I talked about on this, we just really go way more into detail and really also give you those like foot on the brake lessons that you need in email marketing to really take your email marketing. And again, this is not from theory. This is from going out there. I still write daily emails for my clients every single day. Like I write for 5 lists still every day. Like after this call, even though I'm working on the WSO, I have to write 5 different emails for 5 different lists that I send out daily.
Yeah, another $31,000 a day, right?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
That's for Travis. I mean, that's what I shouldn't be giving away figures, but those are like those are the averages of a lot of the affiliate promos. Which
I believe
again, which is another thing I teach to my private clients is this game is psychology and math. So if the math is, you know, once you get certain good at the psychology, the only difference is going to be in how much money you make is in the math. So the math would be the list. So if you got a list of 10,000, list of 1,000, you could be just as skilled, but once you get a list of 10,000, you're going to make 10 times as much money.
Yeah, it's best practice with a small list than practice with a bigger list.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're planning to try different things out, you better start with a small list to see how it goes.
Yeah. Build up your skills with a small list.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, then that's the upsell 2, and that's at 37.
Okay. So let me ask you one kind of playing hot seat a little bit here. Obviously you have shared tremendous knowledge on this email listing building things. So how is this product, this is for someone listen to this, very interesting to get it, but kind of on the line, need a little bit push. And, they look at this, hey, I'm really interested in buying this, but you know what? I want to have 100,000 different email, course out there. What makes your course stands out? Why should people get this? Why should people actually buy your course?
Okay, so one of the best things of a mentor or teacher will do for you, a good mentor or teacher, the best mentor or teacher you can find is someone who strips stuff away, not someone who adds stuff to you. So if you get a good mentor or teacher, he's not going to teach you 100 new tactics.
Okay.
right? So my mentor right now, who I'm actually in an 8-week course that's I paid $9,000 to be in.
Oh wow.
It's Kevin Nations, great guy, and I'm learning just a ton from him.
Mhm.
And one of the things that he says is a great mentor or teacher will not give you stuff. What he's going to do is he's going to strip away all the nonsense and just leave you with that really powerful stuff that you need to work. So again, it kind of comes down to what I've been saying with the relative importance of data is, yeah, you have all these list building courses. You probably know 100 ways. What this course is going to do is tell you what to focus on.
Okay.
It's going to clear that overwhelm, that confusion that you have when in regards to building a list, and we're going to give you here's what to do. And that's what a good mentor is going to do. Is like even you, even me, we have like, what am I like? You're probably thinking, oh, another product? Like, do I come out with a membership site? Like, do I want to try this?
Yeah,
You've probably got a million different things going on. A good mentor is going to tell you, okay, let's strip away that and just focus on this. Like, you already have all the tools, all the information you need. And that's another big thing that I try to put into everyone's head. Like, people listen to this, you already have everything you need to make a lot of money. Corey made over $100,000 in his first couple of years online. Like, I think year 2 or 3 online. Year 2 online, he was making $100,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
0 products. Just by going to the forums.
Mm-hmm.
By keeping things simple. And that's the key. It's like, most likely you have everything you need. You just need someone to point out and tell you, here's what you need to focus on. Here's the important blocks.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's how my course is different.
Awesome. And Mike, and thank you again for spending your time with us. Shared like tons of great stuff here, and we almost we did like almost an hour interview here, by the way. and I know you like just before lunch you're gonna be very busy. And before we leave here today, do you have any final words you would like to share with us?
Final words. Pick it up. Pick up the Easy List Building Machine 2.0. It's going to be the best list building course that you've ever picked up. So, but besides that, I mean, I really the purpose of this was to give people good information. So, the biggest thing I could say is you probably already have everything that you need. You just need someone to show you what to focus on.
Okay.
And that was a big turning point in my career. Was I'd gone through hundreds of courses and all that, and it was really having someone say, all right, you need to focus. Like, because even before I went to that event, I had picked up a copywriting course. I had picked up a Google course. Like, it was really at that course where when I went to the seminar in Florida, that Dan was like, well, conversions, like, you really got to focus on that part because that's more important than, you ranking your little sites in Google. So a good mentor is going to point out what are the important blocks and what are the stuff you need to drop.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, and Mike, thank you so much for again spending time with us. Sorry, talk so long, lost my voice. and for those who make sure you check out just click the link above, banner beside me or below. You guys know what to do, watching my show all the time. And check out his sales letter before lunch. You're gonna see huge proofs, and on his real sales letter, he's gonna even have a lock-in, all kinds proofs. And these are the real people. How did they really make big money with the email list? And he's gonna cut down all the noises out for you. Go grab it. You're gonna absolutely love this. And Corey, Corey and Mike, I'm looking forward to learning from you guys as well. And I'm very excited for your lunch. And I'm sure, Mike, I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, I'm pumped. This is also like, if people are asking why we're doing this is really to give back. This is to come out with a line of products that not a bunch of BS. So Thanks, Han. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you, Mike. Talk to you soon.
All right.
All right, bye-bye.